Hi guys, I am Rijat Joseph and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss 8 different methods to get out of your debt immediately or at the earliest. So let's begin. The first method is organize your debt. If you want to get out of your debt quickly, organizing your debt systematically is the number one method. There are two ways to organize your debt. The first method is snowball debt method. In this method, what you need to do is you need to write down all the number of debts or loans that you have taken from the smallest to the biggest on a piece of paper. After that, what you need to do is you need to pay the minimum amounts or minimum EMIs into each and every debt that you have taken. After paying all your bills and the EMIs, whatever surplus amount of money is left in your hand, what you need to do is you need to park it into the smallest debt, or you need to pay out the smallest debt with that surplus amount of money. For example, if your smallest debt has an EMI of 2500 per month, and at the end of the month, if you are left with 5000 surplus, what you need to do is you will pay that 2500 plus 5000, total 7500 into that smallest loan or debt. And you will keep on paying the surplus amount into the smallest debt until the debt is gone. And in this way, you will follow paying out the smallest debt first, and you will keep on repeating this method until all the loans are washed out or all the debt is paid out. The second method for debt organization is debt avalanche method. It is just the opposite of debt snowball method. Well, in debt avalanche, what you need to do is you need to list all your debts or loans from the highest to the lowest. And you start paying your highest loans or the largest loans at the earliest. Well, debt avalanche method makes sense from the numbers point of view, because by following debt avalanche method, it will help you to pay minimum amount of interest. Now, my dear friends, comes the most important question, that out of debt snowball method and debt avalanche method, which method to follow? Most of the people will believe that debt avalanche method is going to make more sense because you will have to pay least amount of interest on your loan or your debt. But let's take another perspective. If you keep on paying off the largest loan that you have taken, it will take months or even years for you before that full loan is paid off. And that may be discouraging at times. That may be demotivating at times, because you will not see even one single debt going away fully. On the other hand, if you follow debt snowball method, it means that you will be paying your debts in full quite quickly. And that itself will bring a lot of motivation to you, a lot of enthusiasm on seeing that your debts are being paid. And while following the sequence, by the time you get to the bigger debts, you will be left with a lot of surplus amount of money which you can throw into that big loans or debts and pay them off also quickly. However, as different people find different things quite motivating, so I leave it to you to choose which method to follow to pay off your debt or to organize your debt systematically. The second way to get out of your debt is tracking your finances every month. To create a very solid financial future, you need to track your finances every month. And you need to track your expenses every month. You know, this is very irresponsible behavior if we keep on spending the money unaccounted. And at the end of the month, wonder where all the money has gone. Well, this lack of ability of tracking your money, where is it going, may lead you and cost you big time. And it may even lead to accumulation of a lot of debt. In addition to that, if you keep on spending money unaccounted, it will be very difficult to find surplus cash at the end of the month to add on into the repayment of debt. So the best thing to do is to create a budget, a monthly budget, wherein you are writing the income at the top and most of the expenses at the bottom. You know, most of the people are of the opinion that tracking your budget is not at all important if you're paying your bills on time. Well, that's not the case. I can say this because there is something called value-based spending. Well, before I discuss value-based spending, let me tell you one thing very clearly, that there is no wrong way to spend your money. Because at the end of the day, it is your hard-earned money and you have all the freedom to do whatever you want with that money. However, it will be good if you practice value-based spending. Value-based spending means spending money on the things that are most important to you. Spend on the things that brings you joy, that brings you happiness. If a certain purchase of anything is not bringing you any joy or not adding any value to your life, please stop spending that money every month. In my opinion, you should go a step ahead and you should start comparing the joy when you buy something or the joy you get when your debts are fully paid. This will give you an answer whether to spend more on what you like or what you don't like, or add on money in surplus into paying off your debt quickly. This technique of comparing your joy will give you the answer to what kind of expense should you do, whether you should spend more or whether you should pay off your debt quickly. Method number 3 is to put all extra cash into paying off your debt. Well, this is a methodology which can be easily overlooked in the process of paying off your debt. Let it be any kind of unexpected money that you get. Putting any amount of extra cash and unexpected money into paying off your debt will really speed up the process of paying off. On the contrary, it may happen that whenever you get an extra cash or whenever an unexpected money comes to you, you may get tempted to spend it in purchasing something that you really want, or going out and celebrating, or going on a holiday or a vacation. Especially when you are living on a tight budget from a very long time. But my dear friends, you need to understand one thing. If paying off your debt is your priority and moving on to your financial goal is your requirement for the time being, you really need to be disciplined with the process of paying off your debt. So it is advisable that any amount of extra cash or any amount of extra earning that you are able to make in a month or a year, please park it into paying off your debt. Let me tell you about some cash sources that can be put into your debt repayment. Number 1, tax returns or tax refunds. Number 2, bonus from your work. Number 3, earning from your second job. Number 4, any overtime earning that you get from your job. Number 5, money from selling off things that you really don't want. Number 6, monetary birthday or holiday gifts. Number 7, cashback from any kind of use of credit card. And number 8, any kind of money that you have forgotten that you have lent to someone and it has returned. So from all these sources, whatever money you are able to earn in a month or in an year, please park it to pay off your debt immediately. The fourth method is to sell whatever you don't need at home to pay off your debt. Well, when we talk about selling off things, you need to understand that we are talking about whatever expensive things that you are having and you are not using it. You are not supposed to sell what you are already using or what is adding value to your life. Let's take an example. Let's suppose you own a car which has a cost of 20 lakh rupees and you are in a heavy debt. What you need to do is you need to make the sacrifice of selling off that car and buying a car which will cost you around 6 to 7 lakhs, so that your need is also sufficed as well as you will have the surplus amount to pay off your debt. Now, just because I have told you an example of a car, it doesn't mean that you have to sell off your car. You need to look into your each and every cabinet at home, and you need to look for things that are lying unused for years or months and find out a way to resell that things on eBay, Amazon or Flipkart. And whenever you go through all your cabinets and every nook and corner of your house, you will find things like designer clothes, expensive accessories, or your gaming console, or the PlayStation that you used to enjoy in your past but no longer need. So whatever money you get through selling these products, please invest it into paying off your debt as soon as possible. The fifth method is to scrutinize your expenses. In scrutinizing your expenses, I will introduce you to a concept of challenge everything budget. How it works is that first of all, you need to take out or make the budget, and you need to go through the column of expenses. And when you are going through the column of expenses, you need to ask yourself two questions. Number one, how can I make this number smaller? Number two, how can I reduce or eliminate this expense forever? If you are able to find out answers to these two questions, you are on the right track of challenging everything budget. Let me give you an example of how you can do it. Let's suppose if you are having multiple OTT subscriptions for a year or for every month. What I would suggest you is to take Jio Wi-Fi connection, because Jio Wi-Fi gives you all the OTT platform subscriptions as a package, and that will definitely cost you less than having individual OTT subscriptions. Secondly, shop around a range of insurances so that you get the best deal of insurance. Thirdly, you can do the same thing with your recurring expenses that happen every month, where it seems to be very necessary but they are not. For example, you should go to an affordable salon rather than going to an expensive one every month. You should eliminate restaurant trips until your debt is paid off. You should unsubscribe all the magazines and newspapers that you have subscribed to, especially if you are not reading them. I would even suggest you to drop off your gym membership and go for working out at home in the form of cardios and in the form of jogging. The sixth method is consider refinancing your debt. Well, I am of the personal opinion that debt snowball method is the way to go when you are paying off your debt. But sometimes it makes sense to cut down your interest rate and pay less interest on your loan amount. So in my opinion, you should consider refinancing your debt if you have multiple loans of high interest. If given a chance, I would definitely like to pay 5% interest on my loan rather than paying 15%. Wouldn't you do that? So we should always consider refinancing our loan or refinancing our debt so that we are able to save thousands of rupees with us. Paying less interest on your loan means that more amount of money is going towards your principal amount, which will help you to finish off your debt or your loan quickly. The seventh method to pay off your debt quickly is to increase the number of income sources you have. One thing that you should take care while paying off your debt is that you should not be dependent on one income source to pay off your debt. You should definitely look for multiple income sources so that you are able to gather more cash to pay off your debt as quickly as possible. For example, if you are a student and you have taken a student loan, to repay that loan, you should think about joining a pizza joint, delivering newspapers, or doing any other odd job in your free time so that you are able to earn extra cash and you are able to pay off your loan quickly. And let's suppose you are not a student, but you are a professional. Then it is the right time right now to start a side hustle along with your current job. For ideas to start a side hustle, you can also go through this video, and I will also be posting the link of this video in the description below. The last method is be willing to take drastic steps. Sometimes it may happen that if you are under a heavy debt and you are living on a rent in a very expensive apartment, what you need to do is to downsize your expense on the rent and go to a more affordable apartment to have extra cash with you to repay the loan. You may need to seek out a job out of your comfort zone which pays you more. Or you may need to start biking or walking to your workplace. The meaning of drastic is subjective for everyone. It may not be the same what it means to you and what it means to me. For you, taking a drastic step may mean that going to a cheaper salon or not buying designer clothes. But for me, taking a drastic step may mean that not spending more than 2000 rupees on dining out every month. We all have different expenses. We all have different lifestyles. We need to understand there are no right and wrong answers in this. You need to set your limits. You need to see what drastic steps you are able to take when it comes to repaying the loan or the debt. So my dear friends, these were the steps through which you can quickly pay off your debt. I hope you like this video. If you really like this video, please share it with your family and friends. It really helps us to grow. Thank you and God bless you.